You have decided you want to come move to Japan. Great, you're on your first step to achieving that goal. Now I want to give you a little bit more of a realistic approach of what it takes to actually come and live in Japan. So for starters, a lot of the videos that I see about moving to Japan, they're mostly made by content creators. So, they come here under some sort of work visa, create content. And, maybe a few come as being an English teacher, which is the job that most people who come to Japan realistically get. I want to give you a little bit more of an inside depth of what that actually entitles. What does it mean to actually come to Japan, and how is it to actually live here? So we're gonna start out with, you get your stuff, you come to Japan, you start looking for jobs, and let's say your Japanese isn't as fluent as you hoped it would be. As you know, you come to Japan and maybe you didn't take those Japanese courses, and maybe didn't do a little bit of self-study and just came here on a whim. And you see all of the normal jobs, you need to learn kanji. That's right. A lot of the jobs here, you have to know kanji. No surprise there because you're in Japan. But you also have to learn how to speak, read, and write in the language. So, if you don't know any of those things or are not at a high enough level, you're pretty much gonna be stuck being an English teacher. And I think that's the job that most people that come to Japan are more likely to get. Usually, the English jobs here in Japan, you maybe think you're teaching English to like a bunch of adults and kids in a classroom setting. Some jobs are like that, but most of them aren't really. A lot of them are pretty much daycares or, preschools and such, where you're not only teaching the kids, but you're also taking care of them. Hence, the definition of teacher. But here, it's a little bit more of just being a caregiver than actually being an English teacher. Yes, you're teaching the material, you have textbooks and such, but you are most likely going to be just taking care of the kids. You have to build a personality where you have to deal with being around kids all the time. And as you know, kids scream, kids cry, kids make fun of you. So that's pretty much kind of the realization of being an English teacher here in Japan. Especially if you have a little bit of a softer personality, you may find yourself a little bit more on the edge because you can't deal with the sight of what you see when you go for your first interview. I've actually had some co-teachers and people who come in for interviews. When they take that first step into that classroom, they are completely shocked at what they see. You see a bunch of screaming kids, you see running, and of course there are rules in the classroom to pretty much kind of control it. But that's easier said than done because you are dealing with kids. And that's why there's a lot of people always moving jobs and changing jobs, because they are just hoping that that next job will be better than the last. And, there are some jobs where, of course, you can go ahead and, actually teach English without having to do the caregiver part of it. But those jobs are usually very competitive, and those jobs are almost always taken by people who have been in Japan for many years or have a lot of teaching experience here or in their own country. But as you know, most people that come to Japan, they're not really teachers, or more than that, they're not really looking to be a teacher on the inside. The jobs here of being an English teacher, you have to really love teaching, and you really have to love kids. If you don't fit those two things, you're not gonna have a good time being an English teacher here. Which comes to the other point, just learn Japanese before you come here. So if you learn Japanese, you can find yourself finding another job And you don't have to do the English teaching part of it. You can go work at a supermarket, you can go work at a ramen shop. There's many other kinds of jobs out there in Japan where you don't have to be an English teacher. Just the only thing is you have to learn Japanese. And of course, some of the jobs or Japanese level can vary from very low to just higher. Some of them you don't need to know kanji. Just the normal speaking aspect is okay. You may not have to know how to read and write in Japanese, but as long as you can speak it, you'll be okay. This video isn't meant to discourage anybody to come live in Japan. It's just giving you a little bit more of a realistic view of what it takes to actually live in Japan without having that content creator kind of aspect. I don't really like to use content creator, but that's kind of what it ends up being. But that's the realistic part of it, is that you have to have a strong personality. Just being an English teacher here in Japan, it's just a little bit more to inform you about the reality of moving here and what kind of life you'll have here. As you know, you're gonna have to work a lot. You're gonna have to work like a normal job, as if you would back home. So you're not gonna have all that leisure time to go and travel Japan and enjoy it. It's just you're living here. So if you enjoy your free lifestyle of coming to Japan and traveling, I recommend just coming here on your trips instead of moving here. But you should also try to move here. Maybe come try it for a year and see if you like it. If you don't, you can always move back and then just come here as a trip. This video is just to inform you of, again, just a little bit more of a realistic view how it is to live in Japan. That's it about for this video, guys. Gonna be making a lot more videos about Japan and about content about Japan. I'm gonna be just doing pretty much whatever. That's what this channel is gonna be about. Just gonna do whatever I feel like posting, but it's gonna be a lot of Japan content. So, just do the usual YouTube stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and have a good day. See ya.